Ndị Igbo ekene m unu. Asị m ka nke echukwelu ya zelu. Anyị si ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, mmiri atara m azụ anwụra. Asa dịrị mma na eke, dịrị mma na orie, fọzara mma na afọ, fọzara mma na nkwọ, ụzọ ahịa anọ nke ndị Igbo ji biri. Asị na ya dịra n'Igbo na mma o. Ise, ise, ise. Dịka o si dị ka agbapụ na ya ọsọ igosi na ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Na tupu anyị aga n'igosi na ya bụ ife, ọ bụla nke a bụ ụbọchị izu gị, ị na-ejete afụ chanel anya n'igbe akwụkwọ ka baro ka ị like and subscribe ọ. Tinyekwa kọmentị, share ekwe ya, tụsa ya bụ ozi ka ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche wee nụ ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo a. Dịka o si dị, ihe wetara unu tata bụ nnukwu update dị oke mkpa. Mma nchọ ka onye ọbụla misie ya, mma nchọ ka ị ga ya bụ ife, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife wetara unu gbasa maka ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya. And nwere ndị Igbo na-azọ drop your own comment.
Earlier in the week, they had said people should stay at home for 2 days. And it's been an issue for over 2 or 3 years now. And the agitation of the people for what they want. But the state governors in that region are saying, no, what you're doing is affecting mobility, it's affecting commerce, and this is, we're industrious people. And so that has been the bone of contention since this whole thing has started. Of course, you know the issue of nnamdi, KanU and the release and all of that. But I want to see how far-reaching this confidence-building measure by some of these governors is actually helping to give the people some motivation to come out, especially on Mondays. But today we're going to be talking to the people from Anambra State. The Commissioner for Information, Anambra State, joins us, Mr. Law Mefo. He joins us via Zoom. Mr. Mefo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, welcome. So let's begin with an assessment of the impact of some of the efforts by the Governor Soludo-led administration on this particular issue, because whatever affects the Southeast affects Nigeria, because we are all one Nigeria. And at the end of the day, from every Monday for maybe 2 to 3 years now, this issue has been there. And you can imagine the economic loss as far as people not going out. And these are very industrious people as far as Nigeria is concerned. So this going out to say, come out and sell your wares, sell your goods, nothing will happen. Is it really working?
Hell, you are right. The problem has been on for 2 to 3 years now. If you do the math, it was declared, I think, 30th of August, 2021, following the extraordinary rendition of nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. That happened, I think, July 17th, December 2021. And since then, till now, there has been sit-at-home in varying degrees. Yes, the governors of the Southeast are worried about that because of the economic implications, particularly Governor Chukwuma Soludo. He has adopted a measure. Yes, he gave an order that the markets should open, but it's following through, going beyond the law and order enforcement to moral suasion. What Soludo is doing is what you may call a confidence building. It is moving from market to market to encourage the traders to come out and trade. It is not wielding the big stick or holding the hammer. No. It is saying, come out. I will ensure security so that you can allow the Southeast, particularly Anambra economy, to run on an even keel. And that is a non-kinetic approach, or suasion, which I believe is the way to go. The success, I can measure it based on the people we see. Yes, all the shops are not open, no doubt, but increasing number of shops are opening because each market we visit every Monday, we are received by traders. And where the governor addresses them and reassures them that they need to really reopen. This is not to say that Governor Soludo is unaware of the reason why we even have a sit at home in the first place. No, he is worried about the detention, the continued incarceration of nnamdi KanU as much as any other Igbo man. Perhaps more than most Igbo men, and I'll tell you why. You know, since nnamdi KanU was extraordinarily renditioned back to Nigeria, Soludo is the only Southeastern governor that has visited him, to the best of my knowledge, in the DSS detention facility. And if you even go back in time, in 2017, when nnamdi KanU was held for the first time, Soludo was the first Igbo leader to visit him in Kuje prison. I know so because I was with him on that trip. And thereafter, he addressed a world press conference in Chelsea Hotel in Abuja, demanding the release of nnamdi KanU. And that began the process that culminated in his bail, and the rest is history. Now, the extraordinary condition, which you may call a state kidnap or code. You see, there is a reason the governors should be concerned, particularly Governor Chuguma Soludo, and I want to reduce the reasons to figures. You know, as of December 2022, the International Center for Investigative Reporting, ICIR, reported that we had 71 sit-at-home in the Southeast, resulting in the loss of 5.3 trillion, reduced to dollar based on the exchange prevailing then. It was $12.2 billion in 1 year. In fact, in less than 1 year. I'm projecting further. You know, the same peer review projected that by August 2024, the Southeast Nigeria could have experienced about 300 sit-at-home events. And this will result in a loss of revenue of about 20 trillion naira. This is serious. And there is also another peer review done by SBM Intelligence. It said that the Southeast region, you know, looking at the transport sector alone, was losing 10 to 13 billion naira in the transport industry alone every day. Now, if this peer review is not understood, our own SMIDA and the National Bureau of Statistics report noted that the Southeast would lose or had lost an estimated 75 billion naira every Monday on nano and micro businesses alone. You know, so if you go on and on and on, you will see that the Southeast economy is hemorrhaging. Anambra economy is hemorrhaging. And there is need to really review practice. You know, but that doesn't mean, just 1 minute, sir.
Okay.
That's not pushing for the release of nnamdi KanU. I have told you things he has done. He has gone to the DSS detention facility.
All right, Mr. I have to butt in here. My apologies. All right, let me butt in here because I have another guest joining us from our Abuja studio, Mr. Henry Mbachu, member representing Oka South. He joins us from Abuja. Mr. Mbachu, thank you so much for coming in. I'm sure you've listened to your brother and Honorable Commissioner for Information in Anambra State, Mr. Law Mefo. And I don't know what your perspective is as far as this issue is concerned, because we've seen, I know I've seen governors of Anambra, I've also seen the governor of Enugu as well, at least those two I can remember, who have gone out to, you know, some confidence building measure. And when you talk about the Southeast, if you want to distribute it accordingly, the big hub of markets, area in Abia State, and then the big Onitsha markets in Anambra State. So the impact is quite huge in some of these states. So with what you've seen and where you're sitting, I know you're in the Labour Party, is it working as far as you're concerned?
Good morning. First of all, let me start by correcting my name. My name is Nigeria Henry Mbajo.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Nigeria comes first. Good morning, viewers. It's nice to be here. This sit at home always, often at time, is a very delicate issue to discuss. I've listened to people discussing that, and only few people has been able to extinguish personal interest, politics, and all what to the core issue surrounding sit at home. Sit at home was organically introduced by the people. Though it was not, there was not enforcement of it. It was when the government wanted to resist it, then the bad element brought the story up and started using it to show maybe show of power against the government, surrounding kidnappings and all whatnot. But the story around sit at home is story of hope. Nnamdi KanU arrest and rendition to Nigeria, people were trying to show their anger, and sit at home was declared. When all this thing started, I asked, how many of the same brain are in this story? One particular thing about us in Igbo land is that once we see anything about agitation, we withdrew. I will plan to be sent. Nnamdi KanU was not the only one doing agitation. IGBO was also there. But the leaders of Yoruba nation were part of IGBO's agitation. You have to be there. You have to be involved for correction, for direction. In the case of what we are suffering now in Southeast, is abstinence of the same brains. I call them same brain. Not that the other side is not sent to, but whereby the leader is supposed to be involved in the IPOB stuff and give direction, give protection when necessary, and even give extinction when it's needed. Now, it's in the hands of the people we can actually control, and they're using it for various things. But having said that, you see, the very vital thing that drives the economy and society is hope. I don't want to dwell in the numbers of how much we have lost and how much we have gained, because I don't trust the data that are coming from Southeast. It can difficultly tax main market. We have not effectively taxed them, so how do we know the figures? But this projection. But what we have lost actually, which is bleeding, is human life, is hope that people have in the system. We also lost the strong value of words of a governor that's supposed to be a law.
All right, Ms. Mbajo, without trying to butt in, just my question was, so that we manage time, the effort of the government, is it far-reaching enough so that we can continue?
I'm hitting there now. The effort of the government is to encourage the citizens to come out. But the citizens are not taking it. Maybe the message was passed wrongly. I overheard the governor saying, if you don't open on Monday, we will seal your shop. If security is provided and you encourage people to come out on Monday, be there with them, which the governor is trying to do, I think it's a good one. But what are we doing that are feasible by the political leaders that actually show the people that, okay, this is going to end? We're not seeing it. People are not seeing the effort by the political elite that will show that this will end. We talk about kinetic and non-kinetic approach. What we are seeing is the kinetic approach, non-kinetic approach. What are the senators doing? What are the House of Rep members doing? What are the governors doing? Together, cohesion, not in isolation. What are even us, the House of Assembly members, doing? Is going to be a cohesive approach towards it so that people can see it. Not when A is doing this, B will be telling another story. We have to work together to ask for release of nnamdi KanU.
Honorable Nigeria, first of all, we must establish that the indigenous people of Biafra group is a proscribed group. And, to that effect, we can also talk about the declaration of Mr. Simon Ekpa as a wanted person, his arrest in Finland and his release. So it's a proscribed group. But you've spoken to, some important issues, which is the lack of cohesion among the governors. And that's where I want to dwell on, really, because we saw a few months back the governor of Imo State leading other Southeast governors to meet with Mr. President, in fact, including other IGBO leaders to meet with Mr. President on the concern about Southeast security. And I believe the sit-at-home order was one of the huge talking points, I imagine, at the meeting. The question is, why haven't we seen that cohesion among Southeast governors? Is it to do with the fact that this sit-at-home order, sometimes we see it effective in Southeast states like Anambra and Abia and Ebonyi, because the recent ones we have not quite seen in Imo and Enugu. So is there a disconnect among the subnationals in that part of the country?
Well, the Southeast Governors Forum visited the president. And I was expecting them to go further. Did they visit? Did they have conversation? Did they have discussion with maybe representative of the proscribed group? You proscribe them, that does not mean they're not existing. You are the governor of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nothing stops you from seeing anybody to stop anything. So what we're actually saying is the force is kinetic, carrot and stick approach. Can we give a carrot to these people? How many of these governors knows them? How many of these governors have discussed with them? It's very difficult for you to take out a story that even the originator of the story, nnamdi KanU, does not have grip on anymore. nnamdi KanU, as from the prison detention, said no more sit-at-home, but it's not enforcing. It's not enforceable. People are still sitting at home.
So that's what you expect to see, more of the carrot approach. That's what you expect to see. Let's take it now to Mr. Mefo, the Honorable Commissioner for Information in Anambra State. You have listened to him. And besides that, was the demand for the release of nnamdi KanU, was it top on the agenda in that discourse between Southeast governors and the federal government that was held a few months back? And if not, what is the current state of the demand for his release? And if he's released anyway, will it be the end to this sit-at-home order in the Southeast?
Yeah, it was certainly top on the agenda. And that shows that the issue is beyond the Southeast. The national issue is a political issue. And you just recognized and recalled.
Mr. Mefo? Oh,
that,
okay, I think he's back now.
Yeah, I said that it's a political issue, it's a national issue, it's beyond the Southeast. What the Southeast governors should do is what they are doing, putting pressure and working through the back channels. Many of these things cannot be put out in the open in the way and manner many would want it. I'm aware that my own governor is reaching out. He has written letters to the president. He is pushing, and other governors, I believe, are also doing the same. And you see, the issue of sit-at-home is quite delicate, like Honorable Nigeria Mbaju said. Yes, it is. And many people don't even want to discuss it because it's a very emotional one. Many who are sitting at home would want to open their shops, but they also would want to see nnamdi KanU released. You know, you can see what may appear to be conflict of interest. And the governor of Anambra State, that is the person I can vouch for, is seriously concerned. I have told you that he has gone to see Nnamdi KanU in the DSS facility since he was extraordinarily renditioned from Kenya. And he is doing much more. But he also thinks that we need to review the sit at home and begin to really open up the shops and release the Southeast economy, especially on Mondays, as we work on, as they work on the diplomatic and political channels to get this sorted out. You know, there are also other reasons, even for my own consideration. When the sit at home started in 2021, August, when they declared what they called the Ghost Monday, I had advised that sit at home would be most effective if we organize it in Abuja, where Nnamdi KanU is held, where the president of Nigeria is held. That doing it in the Southeast, you know, the president, President Tinubu, it doesn't feel it and all that.
Mr. Mefo, I have a quick follow-up question to that. If indeed the release of Nnamdi KanU would move the needle, he himself has said from where he is that there's no more sit at home. He has encouraged Southeast residents to go out on Mondays. So why has that not made any significant impact?
Some people, some of his supporters don't believe what he has said. They believe he did that under pressure, and that is why we are saying release Nnamdi KanU unconditionally. Let him come out, so that once you do so, you will erase that correlation some people are building between the insecurity in the Southeast and his incarceration. If he comes out, he will help in restoring peace and order. And those who are using him as an excuse can no longer do so. That will ultimately reduce insecurity in the Southeast. That's my belief.
All right, Mr. Mefo, at the end of the day, the bane of this conversation is the economic loss, but more importantly, the lives lost that Mr. Nigerian Bacho has mentioned, because you can't quantify life at the end of the day. So let me take it to Mr. Bacho. Mr. Bacho, let's see how we can diagnose this as effectively as possible. Maybe you help us. So I don't know whether a study has been carried out to know the mindset of the people. Maybe you can respond. Why do they sit at home? Is it because of solidarity within Nnamdi KanU, or intimidation by the militia elements, or ineffective assurance from government? What exactly is making people to sit at home, in your view? I'll pose that question to Mr. Mefo as well.
Okay, thank you very much, but you just give me a little time for me to take you through the history lane. From there we can...
Maybe just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
Why people are actually sitting at home. So, first, Nnamdi KanU came with one of the best stories that people listened to. People felt marginalized, and he was telling them at a point, he is the only non-charismatic, non-religious leader that can actually organize people without paying 1 naira. People gather, people follow him, he has followers, people listen to him. So, at some point, he was arrested in solidarity, out of will. People said, okay, they declared it at home for him. Everybody obeyed. No enforcement. Nobody enforced it. Everybody obeyed. Sit at home. Then there was resistance from the government side. No, we can't be sitting at home. Not every Monday. Everybody should go to work. Bank should open. This and that. Then the ESN sprung up. Eastern Security Movement. They sprung up and started enforcing sit at home to assure people that the government, they are in charge and not the government. And it was happening. They were killing people, burning things, and enforcing it. I could remember, gradually, sit at home was almost gone. It was almost gone. 2 years ago, some banks in Oka were almost opening, markets were opening. During the governor's inaugural speech, he also visited the sit-at-home. And that sparked it up again. I think what we should do is let's zero publicity on our actions we are doing to bring back Mondays as an active day. Let's zero publicity there. Let's not politicize it. Let's not publicize it. Let's do our work as legislators, executive, or even as the judiciary come together, do their work, and play background so that people will see organically Mondays, everybody will start coming out on Monday because it has happened. 2 years ago, we were almost coming out on Monday, part of Onitsha and Oka.
So, Honorable Nigeria,
people don't like when you come confrontational with what they believe in.
All right.
Now the KanU story was a belief. Then secondly, he needs to come out. Everybody, all hands must be on deck for him to come out. A competent court has given him bail. Yes, he is being held in detention now, unconstitutionally. All Igbo, all well-meaning Igbo and Nigerians should be speaking for Nnamdi KanU to come out. I think if Nnamdi KanU comes out and say sit at home is over, any other person that you see that is a first sit at home can be dealt with as a criminal. That's my take on this.
So in further diagnosing this, we've heard reports about this sit at home that some audio messages are circulated, video messages are circulated of unidentified people calling for the sit at home. So in further diagnosing it, if people readily comply with this, it shows that there's a level of fear that has been sort of perpetrated in the atmosphere. Who are these people? Let me take you to the Honorable Commissioner now. Do we have an idea of who these people are? And this question is important because the proscribed group has distanced itself from the sit-at-home order, not directly by Mr. Nnamdi KanU, but by the group itself. A certain name is being quoted, Mr. Emma Powerful. So who are these people?
Yeah, it is quite instructive that the known factions of IPOB, none of them called for the 2-day sit-at-home that just concluded, and that proved effective in many parts of the Southeast. I saw the video. The man I saw there, I never saw before. And, you know, the fear, like you rightly identified, people believe the man. He made a very wild claims that the Biafra agitators were going to test their newly constructed armored tanks and things like that. And people believed and stayed away. And that Monday particularly, the governor of Anambra State, in his confidence building, had to put on hold the State Executive Council meeting and moved from market to market to encourage people that, look, you just have to come out while we continue our diplomatic maneuvers, back channels, to see that Nnamdi KanU comes out. Everybody wants him out. And the people who are capitalizing on his detention to perpetrate what they are perpetrating in the Southeast, for me, I see them as criminal elements. They don't like Igbo, because Emma Powerful never, the spokesperson for the IPOB, re-echoed what Nnamdi KanU himself said, that there is no more sit-at-home. So those who are doing that are no longer doing that in the name of Nnamdi KanU, because Nnamdi KanU himself says no sit-at-home. The spokesperson and the leadership of IPOB also said that no more sit-at-home. Let me quickly just add this.
Yeah, in just 30 seconds. In 30 seconds.
Yes, in 30 seconds. You see, the effort to bring out Nnamdi KanU will have to be better orchestrated. The governors, we want the members of the National Assembly to join the governors. They need to form a team, and they shouldn't leave it to the governors alone. They must join forces. They shouldn't wait in the wing for the governors alone to succeed or fail. Doing so will be atavistic. They are not helping the security situation in the Southeast. They have to wake up.
I must thank you so much. At the end of the day, why we brought this conversation to the fore is, again, the loss of lives, the grounding of business and commercial activities on Monday, given the fact that the people are quite industrious, with also due respect to, the intent of the people that are making agitation. But we've also mentioned the fact that the federal government has proscribed IPOP. But we must thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Mr. Lomefo, the Commissioner for Information, Anambra State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it. We also want to thank Mr. Henry, Nigeria Henry Mbachu, member representing Oka South 1 constituency. Your name is quite interesting. Is that your...
And by Ekenekwemono, Edikonis Webtoguno, Igyabife, Nkwozidi Ekpa, Ejemakia, Webeni Rakuko, na Igbo Media, boy by Siwene Uteruni Yabunu Kwozi, Ekpa, Bastamaki Yenemeno, but I know Nimia, and Bastamaka Moro Wendi Bonazo, and Bastamaka nnamdi KanU's ladies. Dikin Rayabana Wakuni Rakuko, Kefi Wadiku, no Dunkigi. Asigi woke if you were deep makana otako de banjo oya de kwanu mma aguna otu munnem achom kunu tiela ya lonku ni fonu chere ni akwụkwọ ikucha ya bife kabaru sie ya kurutu munna ya ndị ọzọ ntị daru dị nenu munnem bo mo na ege ntị enekenu ndị nekunu si na eso ila ya esiru ngwa nke mesia no Igbo.